Hello, good people, and welcome to the channel. My name is Shania, and this is Talking Crime slash Reactions. You guys, on this channel, I go over crime cases like missing cases or cases that has been solved. And also, now my latest videos are reaction videos. So if you like those type of videos, come on over. Join the family. Subscribe to this channel because today we have another reaction video. Now, this reaction video is about a young lady telling her surrogacy story. And you guys, oh my God, like she tells the good side far as like her experience, and then another side where she had a bad experience. So you guys, let's listen to her story time.
Okay, so to start, I want to just kind of give you some background into how I got involved in surrogacy to begin with. So when I had my daughter, it was really important for me to breastfeed. It was just something that I was really serious about. And if you ask me now, or if I had another child, I think I would probably feel different. But at the time, it was really, really important for me to be able to breastfeed her. And it didn't work out that way for me. I think this hair, like a lot of other people, it doesn't always go as planned. So we had a slew of issues between the two of us, and I couldn't breastfeed her. So I ended up pumping. And I pumped for 15 months for her, and I developed this like massive oversupply of milk, and I ended up donating milk to NICUs, babies whose mothers had died or had cancer. I fed a surrogate baby for a same-sex couple for the first 3 months of his life, and I would have longer, but I ended up moving away. I helped friends who were having trouble breastfeeding. I helped local moms. Like countless babies I helped have breast milk. And it was really the first time in my life that I felt like I was making a difference in the world. I was doing something outside of myself, that I was just really like helping people. And it sent me on this altruistic journey. And it was actually my husband who saw a surrogacy pamphlet at our pediatrician's office. And he was like, "You could do that." And it took me one split second to be like, I will do that. I will do that. And that is what started me on my surrogacy journey. And so from here, I will tell you the story of my very first journey. So on to the next.
Okay, so first of all, I know about surrogacy, but I did not know that you can literally breast pump, like, like give other babies your breast milk. I did not know that. So that is something I just learned today. And that is so sweet of her, because there are mothers that have trouble breastfeeding. There are like same sex couples that are adopting. Like, uh, like that was pretty nice of her. So let's go to part two of her story. I did not know that you can literally breastfeed other babies. Well, basically pump and give your breast milk to the NICU and everything. And I had a child in NICU. I did pump and give her my milk. Y'all, that ain't no joke. Like, if you do that for like years or months, like, power to you, because I think I did it only like 2 months, and after that, oh my God. And to start off, because she was born early, like my breast wasn't even ready yet, so I had to forcefully get the milk out of my breast. Eventually, like, the nurses in ICU was nice and sweet. They helped me, but I did not want to keep going for months. So let's go to her second story time about surrogacy.
So when this happened, our daughter was only like, I don't know, maybe 7 months old, and I was breastfeeding, and in order to be a surrogate, you have to quit breastfeeding. So it really wasn't something that I was wanting to do at the time. I wanted to make sure that she was being fed breast milk until she was at least 1. And I really didn't do any research at all. I was really excited about the idea of surrogacy at the time. I didn't even know that people were making large sums of money from it. Back then, this was like 2018. At the time, it was like the common payment was about 30,000, and at the time we were broke. We were building our lives. I was 25 years old, and $30,000 was like an astounding amount of money to us, and we were like, what? Like, okay, so I want to do surrogacy anyway, and then I can get 30 grand for this? Like, that's crazy. And I did not look into different agencies. I did not really do any research. I Googled surrogacy like once, and then, Facebook ads start popping up, and I clicked on the very first ad and applied. I didn't research the company. I didn't look for other companies. I didn't do really anything. I just was excited. I filled everything out. They contacted me, and they had said, you can't be breastfeeding. And I'm like, fine. So they followed up with me later, and at this point, I had started trying to wean to work towards doing a surrogacy, and I had started weaning around 14 months. Nava was 14 months, my daughter. And so we start working through the process. So I had started this process in November of 2018, okay? And then by the time we really got started, it was like maybe September of 2019. And so I've put all this time and energy into this idea. I have been working towards this. I've stopped pumping breast milk. I lost 30 pounds because I was a bit overweight. I gained 70 pounds in my first pregnancy. I've done all this stuff, right? So I connect with this agency, well, let's get going. Let's create me a profile, blah, blah, blah. So they sent me a profile of a couple that lived in Beijing, China, and when I first started thinking about doing surrogacy, I had an idea of maybe I can help 2 dads have a baby, and they're going to live close by, and we're going to get to build a friendship, and we're going to go to lunch together, and we're going to really really make a community, and this is going to be this wonderful thing. And so by this point, I'm almost a year into the process, and so I asked them, I'm like, are all of your clients going to be international? And at this point, this is when they told me, yes, they all live in China. And even though it really wasn't what my idea of surrogacy was, I figured, anybody who is on this journey of wanting to be a parent deserves to be a parent. And they were fine enough. They were nice people. We got to have a video conference and ask questions. We had to use a translator, and I was like, this is fine. So yeah, we did that, and I had a transfer in February of 2020. The parents did not speak English at all, so we never video chatted again. We never talked on the phone. We had to talk through a texting app. And then I lived in California, and so then 3 weeks after my embryo transfer, COVID hit, and everything shut down, and the parents were in China, so they were living a totally different COVID experience than we were. And shit just hit the fan, and it was intense. It was crazy. And they didn't really talk to me very much. They wanted to make sure that I was safe and everything was good. And really we were fortunate because Steven ended up losing his job, and we had the surrogacy income to live off of. But throughout the journey, they really left me alone. There wasn't that friendship building that I had hoped for. They didn't really care to know much about me. They didn't care to share much about them. They were big, wealthy people who lived in China. And, I think I was maybe just this American woman who was helping them have a baby. So anyway, it was fine. I didn't mind it much. I think looking back, I was kind of grateful that during such a huge pandemic and so much going on, I didn't have somebody like breathing down my neck, because we did get out. We went to Santa Barbara, we went to San Diego, we went to Joshua Tree. We traveled a lot during 2020, and I know a lot of other parents wouldn't have allowed that to happen. Anyway, so then later on in the pregnancy, I learned that they were not going to come to the United States. So when we were matching in the process, it was, I wanted that. I wanted to have the parents in the room with me during the birth. I wanted to see them get their baby and like just have this big thing. And so they told me that they were not coming to the States. They told me that they couldn't, but I knew a couple other gals who had Chinese intended parents, and I knew that wasn't true, that you could get through to the United States through the embassy because you're having the birth of your child. So I knew that they were lying to me, and it broke my heart. I sobbed. I was very, very upset. They did give me the honor of giving him the baby his English name, which I chose Stone, because they liked different names, and Stone was rooted in nature and a strong name, and that's what I chose for him. So Stone, I hope you're out there doing well. But anyway, so when it came time to deliver, they didn't come. At the time, you could only have one person in the room with you, and I chose to have a doula with me because I wanted to have an unmedicated birth. So I didn't have Stephen with me. I didn't have the parents of the baby there with me. I just had my doula. And I had to be induced, and it went well. I sat on Pitocin all day. Nothing happened. We broke my water, and I went into labor immediately. And I wanted to labor on the toilet. It was comfortable for me, and but it was insane. It was the hardest labor I've ever been through. It was extraordinary pain, and I was like, I have to get an epidural. I have to get something. Like, I can't do this anymore. And the nurse was like, do you want me to check you and see where you're at? I'm like, no, I don't give a shit where I'm at. I need an epidural now. And she had said, have you had any urge to push? And I was like, no. And as soon as I said that, I felt him drop, and I was like, yes, now. And I rushed out of the bathroom, threw a leg over the bed, and I caught the baby myself. There was no doctors, no nurses, no anybody, just me and my doula. And I delivered the baby myself. Nope. Because there was nobody there for him, I kept him in the room with me. I fed him his first bottle, and I hung out with him. I did ask the nurses to watch him so I could sleep. And then they brought him back to me in the morning so I could see him and hang out. But I was discharged really quickly because I had such an easy delivery, and everything was good. But the parents had issued a power of attorney for somebody to care for the baby until they could get to the States to get him. I never met the power of attorney. Actually, I had to just leave the baby in the hospital with the nurses, and I cried. It was not at all how I thought that surrogacy would go. It was really heartbreaking for me. It makes me upset to this day, because I know that there's other women that are maybe not as strong as I am that have had to endure that, and it's really sad. You go through all this, you do this incredible thing, and to not be able to get the final package, like what we do it for, to see the family all together is heartbreaking. And to have to walk away from this child and not ever meet the people that are supposed to love and care for him was heart-wrenching for me. And I had messaged the family, like, please, when you get here and you're all together, like, please send me a photo. I want to see you all together. Like, please just do that for me. They never did that for me. I didn't actually hear from them ever again. And my friends would be like, hey, what happened to Stone? Like, have you talked to the family? Like, what's going on? And I would just was like, no. And so finally, after 4 months, I reached out on WeChat, the app that we had to use, and was like, hey, how's everything going? And they had told me that they had just had a friend bring him to China like 2 weeks prior. So these people left their baby in the United States with a stranger for 4 months and then had somebody take him to China to be with total strangers, his parents. And that really messed with me, and I dealt with it by starting a second journey. So I'll tell you about that in a second.
Okay. Now, her bad experience, you know, I don't know what I would have done. Like, first of all, I don't think I have the strength to even be a surrogacy, but to be one for somebody in another country and get because sometimes surrogacy, the people like look out for you, call and check on you, go to doctor's appointments, be there in the delivery room, all those things. And it seemed like the people that was paying her $30,000 for the baby, I don't know if I can say they didn't really care, or like it was things that they wasn't saying, the reason why they couldn't come over to, be in the delivery room, or like other countries that'll be like really hard, especially if they don't even speak English. But again, she said she didn't do like research. She just wanted to go in and do it. She had the urge to help somebody, and that's what made her do the surrogacy. So she got 2 experiences, and we're gonna hear the third one. The third story or whatever. But yeah, like she had to be very tough to experience that, and I wouldn't even do it with like another country again. Cause like, who says that they like all of them not like this, or like, majority of them like this? Like, it seemed like they just was buying something from a store, that couple. I don't know, but that was a bad experience, how she explained it. And then she got emotional. Imagine carrying a baby for 9 months, having the baby, and the parents that's getting the baby don't show up. Like, we already have a whole bunch of different emotions after having a baby, but dealing with being a surrogacy is really hard, and these women are really brave to experience and put themselves through things, especially if they had a horrible experience. So let's hear story number 3.
So, surrogacy journey number 2 story. So I delivered my first surrogate baby in November of 2020, and I immediately went starting my second one to kind of heal the wounds of my first one. It was like, this is not at all what I wanted. I'm gonna get what I want. If you know me, I'm gonna get what I want. It's no surprise to anybody who knows me. And so I started Googling a lot of stuff. I'm like, okay, this time I'm gonna be informed. This time I'm gonna make sure that I'm safe. I'm gonna take care of myself. I know more now. I joined Facebook groups. I really like immersed myself in a surrogate community, which is out there. It's on Instagram, it's on Facebook, And I actually ended up connecting with this company called Surrogacy Is. And at the time, they were a company who was partnering with agencies, and they were making sure that women were being connected to safe and ethical agencies, making sure that women were going to be paid on time and correctly, because that was a big issue for some agencies. Also, they were just making sure that women were safe. And so they listened to me, they heard my story, and they said, we have the perfect agency for you. Like, I'm not even going to give you any options. I know exactly where you need to go. And so they connected me to an agency who also listened to me. They heard my story. They heard what I wanted. I wanted local parents. I wanted people who wanted to be involved. I wanted parents that wanted to come to appointments. I wanted to build a friendship. I wanted just kind of really what I was seeing other women that was doing surrogacy, like what their experience was. And so they had sent me a couple different profiles, and it just didn't feel right to me. I really wanted to trust my intuition this time, which is usually pretty strong. And I turned down a couple profiles, and so then they went on to connect with kind of like a concierge service to find me some other parents that might be a better fit. And they sent me a couple different profiles, and so I was a VIP surrogate at this point. And so I wasn't getting real profiles. I was getting kind of blanket profiles because you aren't really allowed to know who these people are. And one of the couples had written a letter, and they told me that they loved animals, and they love their dog, and they love horses, and they love to travel, and they love food, and they shared the story of how they met, and it made me cry. And I knew that was my couple. That's who I wanted to help. That's who I wanted to connect with. And I know you're probably watching this right now, and I love you dearly. I get so emotional about surrogacy. It's really an emotional process, which I'll share about later. But yeah, so we had our match call, and it was almost like we had known each other forever. And everything was just wonderful the whole time. Everything was great. My pregnancy was great. They treated me so well. They were so kind to me. They involved me in a lot of things. They wanted to get to know me. They wanted me to know them. I got to meet their family, which was so special. I got to meet their best friends. They made me cheesecake from scratch and honey from their bees, and these people are like the most normal people in the world I've ever met. They are also wealthy people. They could be known by some people that are watching this, and they're just really incredible people. I admire them so much. They're very interesting people, and they were so good to me. My pregnancy was great. They wanted me to eat organic, and so I did most of the time. I ate really healthy. I ate, we did, I think it was Green Chef deliveries, and Stephen would cook for me at night and make me these beautiful organic meals and beautiful organic breakfasts. And so I was just really healthy. I was vibrant. I felt good. I felt supported. I felt loved. Anytime I had an issue, like trying to drive into Los Angeles for a doctor's appointment, anything that they could do to make my life easier. There was no hesitation. We had a wonderful doctor that they chose. He was amazing. It was really a really beautiful experience. It was everything that I wanted. They came to all my appointments, all our appointments. They really just made me feel loved and celebrated and appreciated, and they still do. And when it came down to delivery day, I had to be induced again. I've always had to be induced. And they came in the very morning, and they brought me a smoothie, and they came as soon as I had to check in, and they spent the entire day with me. We spent the entire day talking. Even during, the journey, they would send presents for my daughter, and presents for me. They sent me a YSL bag for my birthday, because they knew I love to collect bags. And it just really was such a special connection. And I got my moment of getting to deliver this baby and have them be there and hear them cry and see their faces. And it is such an extraordinarily emotional thing. I mean, I'm crying now, and this was a couple years ago. And that was just everything to me. It was everything I wanted. It was just everything I wanted. It is so fulfilling and rewarding to help create and grow this child who is so deeply wanted and loved already. And to help these extraordinary people have this dream come true, and to get to see it and hear them and see them with their baby, and they let me hold her and feed the baby. And it's one of the highlights of my life. It really is. So yeah, I got to have that experience, and I still keep in touch with them. I love them dearly. They know that I do, and I know that they love me too. And I get to see the baby grow up, which is a huge blessing. And I cry all the time seeing all of her moments. And I love you guys. I know that you're probably going to see this, and thank you for giving me that experience, because it was something I will just cherish for the rest of my life. And so that was my second journey, and it was perfect, but it ended sadly for me, because I found out my dad had cancer, and I decided to stop pumping milk for them and move across the country away from them. So I haven't seen them again, and but we keep in touch, and I love them. I love you guys. And so that was my second journey. It was beautiful. It was perfect. It was everything I wanted it to be. And then shit kind of hit the fan again.
Okay, this was a beautiful story. I'm glad the second time she did her research, she learned about it, she got in groups, her other people experiences, because that do make a big difference when you're doing something as important like this. Giving back to people, period, whether it's a child, money, a house, like things like that, or just giving someone $1, or like giving someone money, gas to get to work. Anytime you are doing something, giving back to somebody is a joy. It's a happy moment. A human being, a life, oh my God. And you're carrying this baby, and you got so many emotions and things happening, and experiencing the first, movement, all of these things. Like, you have to be a real warrior, and also can stand it, like, emotionally. And these type of people, to me, are considered as superheroes. Like, thank you for thinking of other people and helping other people, as such as giving a life and letting someone else that might not be able to experience it. So I'm glad that her second experience was good, and the family was very there for her and supporting her, and her husband was really supporting her because, remember, in the first thing, he the one who brought it all to her attention and she agreed. So thanks for giving back to that family, or giving back period, and being genuine. And I'm happy you got the second experience the way that you thought your first was going to be. And I'm sorry that the first experience didn't happen the way you wanted it to. And hopefully, baby Stone is doing well and really healthy. And everybody just think you a superhero. So thanks for that story. You guys, don't forget to like, comment, and definitely subscribe to my channel. Over here we doing reaction videos, crime videos, like missing cases, and also solved cases. You guys, hit that subscribe button. Peace. Have a blessed day.